1494 2AY.
Good afternoon and welcome to this round 16 clash coming to you live from Martin Park in Wodonga. Today we see 10th place Wodonga Bulldogs playing home and host to the 8th placed Myrtleford Alpine Saints. I'm Ree Dolahenty and today I'm joined in commentary by Hannah Davies and Tamara Matthews. Good afternoon, ladies.
Thanks, Ree. Great to be here for one last time for me. Very excited to have my last game, and it should be a cracker. We've had so many close matchups this season, and I think this one will be nothing less than that.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies, and welcome to your last one, Han. I mean, you've been amazing, and it's really sad for us that you're going, but exciting opportunities for you.
Thanks, Tam.
Instrumental in the start of our O&M Live netball broadcast. So Hannah Davies back up to Queensland after this week, taking on a role with the media in the Gold Coast. So we're wishing Hannah all the best, but we will get to today's match. And before we do that, I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we broadcast from today, the Yorta people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today, both listening in person and tuning in on the live stream. Let's have a look at last week's results because there were some great ones. We know round 15 was a split round, so we mentioned in pre-game last week, Yarrawonga defeating Corowa by 2 goals, Albury defeating the Wodonga Raiders also by 2 goals, and we saw another 2-goal win by Lavington over North Albury. What are our thoughts on that game?
Look, it was great to see a tough game, and I think the most exciting thing for me is that here's North Albury sitting in 6th position, probably at a stretch can make finals, but fairly unlikely, and yet they've taken it up to one of our top sides, equal top sides. So I think fantastic, outlook for the competition when we have those sorts of results. But I was really impressed with North Albury. I thought the standard of play, particularly by their younger, inexperienced players, was outstanding. They weren't intimidated coming up against, the top side in Lavington. But look, Lavington just showed when they need to hit their targets and do those 1%ers, they're able to do it and get over the line.
Yeah, tough loss for North Albury there. Obviously, in terms of the ladder, they are so close to finals, and skills-wise, they can absolutely contend. We've seen so many close games. Lavington in particular, I said it last week, but they love a close game. They seem to either raise to the opportunity of someone like Corowa or potentially not play their strongest against some of the more developing teams. So just really interesting for them. North Albury, we'll discuss it soon, but this time of the season is just so important for them now.
And we just saw the class of Emily Brown last week. The weather was miserable. It was cold, it was wet, and she was still flying for every ball. She was still rallying the troops right up until that final whistle blew. We saw a little bit of that from some players on Lavington, but she just you can't match her in any condition. She'll run all day in the wet, all day in the dry, and that's a real string to North Albury's bow, and they'll be looking for that. And Lavington, they'll be looking to push today. They're coming up against Albury Tigers, who pushed them last time they played. They only had that 1-goal win. So that's a couple of quite strong games in a row. So it'll be great dry day to see what they can do.
Absolutely, and I was down at JC King during the week, and a few of the Lavington girls were down there. Maddie Plunkett putting some shots up and a couple of the defenders down there with her. So it's great to see them, getting along midweek. Obviously they have their set trainings, but are aware that extra work needs to be done, and they're obviously leaving, no stone unturned.
And Myrtleford, who we're going to see come up against Bulldogs today, they had a quite comprehensive loss to the Wangaratta Magpies, 55-31, which probably a surprising margin into what it blew out to. The Wangaratta Magpies just led from start to finish, and looks like by their best players that Katie Dean and Hannah Grady were really instrumental in that, posting 55 goals. Georgia Clark and Amy Byrne must have been on song.
And Myrtleford are one of those teams that haven't been as consistent as they would like, but they've got all the personnel. They've got the Tina Way in defence, Beck Piazza under the post, and just superstar Ellie Cooper in that centre driving the ship. So today will be really interesting because, of course, last week the Bulldogs had their first win, which is just massive, over the Wang Rovers, 36-45 to Wodonga, massive for them.
Oh, and they led from start to finish. Interestingly, it was an 11-6 first quarter, so that set up a lead for them. Then they lost the second quarter. Rovers actually came back and it was 10-8, so they narrowed that margin. But credit to the Bulldogs girls, they really pushed. The third quarter, we often say, is that championship quarter, and they pushed to get that lead, and they broke a 36-game losing streak. So they will be really on the front foot heading into today's game. And I think, again, you say personnel, the Bulldogs girls have Cassie Mathy in their shooting end. She's been instrumental. Ella Dickens is really starting to come to the fore. She's being named in their best players a lot over this second half of the season. And then someone like Ellie Ainsworth is a little bit of an unknown in wing attack. She's really agile. She's really quick. And I think that as the season's progressed, she's really worked into that.
Absolutely. She's been a junior at the club for a long time and, you know, has always shown a lot of potential and promise. So it's great to see her now in that A-grade side permanently and matching it with some of the best players in the competition. So, you know, in conversations I have with other coaches and other teams, they all acknowledge that Wodonga are absolutely on the improve and that there's been no easy game. So I think there's really promising signs, and if they can maintain some of this group, and they obviously have some very, very talented youngsters coming through. Their 17 side is second on the ladder. They actually drew with the top place Raiders the other week, which I don't think anyone's gotten near the Raiders 17 side for a number of years now. So they have some brilliant players in their younger grades. So the future is bright, providing those players stick around.
And great segue there. We will have a look into the A-grade ladder. As it stands at the moment, the Coralruther Glen Roos are sitting on 52 points in first position on 145%. They are joined in equal first by the Lavington Panthers after that win last week, also on 52 points, but 8% behind, so 137%. Interestingly, Yarrawonga are in that third position, and they actually have better percentage than the Panthers they're on that 145.13. But the interesting part is where it goes into 4th, 5th and 6th. Wangaratta Magpies have Raiders today, Lavington and Yarrawonga to finish their 3 rounds of the home and away season. Albury in 5th, play Lavington today, Yarrawonga next week, and the Rovers to finish off. And North Albury in 6th, only 6 points behind Albury, have Yarrawonga today, Rovers and the Wodonga Bulldogs to finish. So could we see North Albury squeeze Albury out of that 5th position?
Well, I think this round, today's games are really going to give us some answers. I think if they could get over Yarrawonga, they absolutely put themselves in with a show. But I think if Albury get over top of Lavington, then that probably shuts the door on them. So I think by the end of today, we're going to have a fairly good idea of where they're at. I think they'll be lucky to get there. The other thing for me at the other end, I think Corowa will cement that top spot. They have an easier run home, and I think they will post big scores and blow out that percentage. So even if them and Lavington end up on the same points, I think Cora's percentage will remain much more superior than Lavington's. And look, Lavi, they've got Wang next week. They lost to them really convincingly first round. So I think, you know, we might see where Lavi are at with today's game and next week's and how they feel heading into finals with some of these tougher games.
Yeah, I think that top position is going to be really, really tricky to predict who gets it, but I really think they shouldn't be caught up on it. I think for Corowa in particular, even if they get the minor premiership, they need to prove that they're still playing good netball. They've had 2 close losses now. Despite the phenomenal first start of the season, they've got everything to do it. I think for them, regardless of minor premiership or not, they need to be playing the netball they want to play heading into finals, because even if Yarrawonga are placed 3rd, that means nothing when it comes to finals.
You know, a clean slate.
Absolutely. And many of us have seen the way Yarrawonga perform in finals, and they go to another level. And I think you're right about the top spot. I think if I was the Corowa coach, I'm not sure I'd want the easy run home. I think they've obviously coming off 2 losses. I think you would almost want a couple of tough ones in there to really see where you're at. So I'm not sure the run home advantages them, other than gives them the opportunity to increase their percentage. But look, I guess we'll see where they're at.
And if you've just joined us on O&M Live, we are about to broadcast for you the Wodonga Bulldogs taking on the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. We'll have a look at the Insight Injury Clinic team cards now. Firstly, for the home team in the Wodonga Bulldogs, they're coached by Bianca Mann. In-goal shooter, Cassie Mathy. Goal attack, Hannah Pole. Wing attack, Ellie Ainsworth. In the centre, Lyndall Hildebrand. Wing defence, Alicia Coyle. Goal defence, Leah Mathy. And goalkeeper in Ella Dickens, with an interchange of Zoe Lawson, Liz Murphy, Sarah Cardwell and Hannah Thornburr. We've spoken about Cassie Mathy and Leah Leah Mathy at both ends of the court being relatives. That's a really great thing for the Wodonga Bulldogs.
It is, and actually a bit of a shout out to Leah. She's our neighbour, so we see a bit of Leah, and she's got the tribe here today. But look, it is great for them to have that experienced player at that end to really help with these younger players. And I did ask her whether she celebrated last week. She said she was home recovering, and I think left the celebrating up to the young ones. But yeah, I think she's really important for them.
Well, I think they've picked the perfect time in the season to get that first win for them. You know, a lot of teams, there's a lot of pressure on them. They're stressed about finals. For the Bulldogs, they're just enjoying the ride. You know, they've got the first win under the board, nothing to lose. They could be the one to start, you know, putting the pressure on and shaking things up.
And pressure on they will. Lyndall Hildebrand also in that centre. I see her at Adrenaline boxing and conditioning, and she's very, very fit. She can run all day, and she's kind of like the heart and soul in this team too. Last time we broadcast them, she was really getting the team up and really getting around them. So to do that in centre as well while you're running on day, she will have her hands cut out for her playing against the likes of Ellie Cooper, but I expect that to be one of the matches of the games. And as well, it's nice to see someone like Sarah Cardwell sitting on the interchange bench for the Wodonga Bulldogs. She's a stalwart here at the club and is playing in their B grade, but has played in their A grade over the last few years on and off as well. So credit to her, and she'll be someone that you'll be able to hear on the sideline all game, and she'll be really proud of these young girls that have gotten on the court.
Yeah, and look, I think the other one on the bench for them to watch out for is a Lizzie Murphy, and she came on the last game and was actually the opposition named her best player. So she's a really talented junior, a great basketballer, but also a brilliant netballer. She played in the 17s and Zamora rep side and was fantastic there, and can play a number of positions, but a beautiful shooter. And you know, how lucky are they that they can bring her on? She's very accurate, moves very well, and nice to have that off the bench, particularly a young player.
And as we look to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, they are coached by Tina Way. In goal shooter, Rebecca Piazza. Goal attack, Sally Botter. Wing attack, Sage Bros. Centre, Ellie Cooper. Wing defence, Sophie Capillari. Goal defence, Tina Way. And goalkeeper, Amber Quirk. And on the interchange bench, Morgan Byrne. There's some great names in there and a couple of players that can come alive. Sally Botter, she notched that winning goal in that 1-goal win for the Myrtleford Saints against North Albury, and we would look to see the combination between her and Piazza. They will want to just make sure that they hold on to possession, because the defenders for the Wodonga Bulldogs are a little bit of an unknown, and it'll take them probably a little bit to get used to that, but it'll be possession netball.
Absolutely, and I did notice that last week, looking at the score sheet, Myrtleford actually swung Piazza back to keeper for the back half, the second half. So, you know, they do have that up their sleeve if they need to. So I think it'd be interesting to see where they use that today. They haven't, I don't think they've played her there for quite a while, since early in the season, but obviously the last game they felt they needed to against Wangaratta. So starting shooting today, but we'll wait and see whether they pull that later.
Well, you'd have to think that that would be one of the key matchups of the game. Piazza against Ella Dickens, both really tough players in their right. And as well, like you're mentioning, if Piazza's got that defensive element to her, does she get the upper hand on Dickens? She might know what she's doing. I think for this game, if you can shut down Piazza, it puts more pressure on Sally Botter, and she's more of a moving shooter, and, you know, she might need to shoot some long shots, which, you know, opens up rebounds, potential missed goals.
I think we'll see some great matchups and contesting through the midcourt too. Both sides, we know Ellie and Sage are fast. Sophie Capillari for Myrtleford is a very quick player. She swung into the centre last week, but, you know, you look at the youngsters from Wodonga, again, fit, athletic, will go hard at the ball. So I think some of those mid-court matchups are going to be really exciting to see.
And as we've said, the Bulldogs, they really have nothing to lose, as do the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. Neither team can make finals, so they'll be looking to really finish their season off with gusto and finish with 4 consistent quarters here today. So, Hannah, what's your tip for today?
Well, I've gone with the Saints today. I think it's going to be really close. So I'm going by 2, but I've just got this feeling in me on court right now. It's a home game with the Bulldogs. It's going to be tough.
And Tam?
Yeah, I was going to say 2 as well, 'cause that seems to be the margin
every week.
Most of our games. So maybe I'll go Myrtleford by 5, but again, I just feel like this is one that absolutely Wodonga could get up, and I hope that they do. It would be great.
Yep, and I've also tipped the Saints, but I love a bit to be a fence sitter as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulldogs get up. So I might even change my tip, and I'm going to tip the Bulldogs girls by 1 here, so as we can see them taking the court. If you've just joined us, we are about to commence play for our round 16 clash with the Wodonga Bulldogs hosting the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. Our first quarter action is brought to you by Cavalier Homes. We are set up for our first centre pass. Wodonga Bulldogs, the home team, have possession for this first centre pass in the hands of Lyndall Hildebrand. First whistle for this first quarter action, and it begins with a breaking call from one of the Saints defenders. They won't want too many of those easy options for the Bulldogs. Ball swings cross court deep into the pocket. An obstruction call in the circle from Alicia Coyle.
So umpires setting up the intentions early, and so are the Saints. A missed goal, so they're transitioning. Botters out wide, goes to Cooper, to Bros, and that's the speed of Ellie Cooper. Almost takes out her own feet.
And a great contest there from Lyndall Hildebrand, staying in play, but the Bulldogs spilling the ball for the Saints. So they are going on the attack, transitioning Ainsworth on to Pole, to Mathy, out of the circle. Pole moving well, getting Tina Way right out of position for that ball to go over into the backspace, but the goal slips out.
Just a few early nerves there from the Bulldogs shooters, but Cassie Mathy settles the ship. First goal for the Bulldogs, and the Saints have the centre pass now.
Bros and Cooper, they've really formed a strong foundation through this attacking end for the Saints. As we see Cooper stepping into where the penalty's been set, and a contact call in the circle. To take up the space and just clipped the edge of the ball, but the Saints with the throw in halfway on their shooting circle in the hands of goal attacking Botter. She refeeds out to Bros, top of the circle shot for her, and it spills out, but Piazza with the rebound and a nice settling goal for the Saints. So if you've just joined us, we are 1 goal apiece on the 777 automotive scoreboard.
13 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and the Saints have just scored another intercept, but it's over a third. So the Bulldogs will take the free pass just in their defensive third.
And an outlet pass just gone stray. When we talk about over a third, it just means that there was no touch of the ball within one of the thirds of play. So quite an easy get for the Bulldogs, but they're not getting it easily into their circle. But a drive from Cassie Mathy splits the defenders and ending with another goal. So slick hands from the youngster. 2 goals to the Bulldogs, leading the Myrtleford Alpine Saints 1.
Piazza's out of the circle. She'll go to Cooper. And she hasn't got many options. Botters had to go wide and out, and the lob just goes straight into the hands of Ella Dickens for the Bulldogs.
Her timing's on song today. She really moved to make it look like there was space where there wasn't, and then came through with the goods. So Hildebrand into Mathy now. She's a fair way out of the circle, opting to refeed and gather possession again. And her eye is in a great goal there from Cassie Mathy. Bulldogs with the centre pass. Ellie Ainsworth doing the hard work, and a defensive contact from coach Tina Way of the Saints. So the Bulldogs with possession on their transverse line. Long pass from Hildebrand to Mathy. Double play. Both shooters looking for the front position, and Pole with a really nice first goal on the board.
Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. The Bulldogs are having a cracking start. What are you seeing on the sideline?
They are. The work of Alicia Coyle in wing defence on Sage Broads is making life very hard for her. So it's stopping those quick balls to the circle, and they're just forcing a couple of long ones, which is where the turnovers have happened so far.
And here's the chance for the Saints. The ball's in the hand of Piazza, and she scores. So just settles the Saints 4-2 to the Bulldogs on the 777 automotive scoreboard with 11 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
And a breaking call by Ellie Ainsworth there on their own centre pass. They're the 1%ers, the coach killers that we don't like, and Myrtleford have transitioned quickly. Cooper onto Piazza, but it got sent back due to an offensive touch, and the ball in the hands of Piazza. She attempts, but it rebounds out and can't quite gain the possession. So Bulldogs, Dickens gives off to Leah Mathy, back to Dickens. Alicia Coyle in wing defence, she's doing a mountain of work, just trying to make some space. Great placement by Hildebrand, just lending it in that centre third. And Cassie Matey, I don't know where the space was on that baseline, but she certainly found it. And she certainly has her eye in. 4th goal for Cassie Matey out of the Wodonga Bulldogs 5. So the Wodonga Bulldogs leading the Myrtleford Alpine Saints here, 5 goals to 2 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
And as the Saints work it in to Piazza, this first quarter is brought to you by Cavalier Homes. Another attempt, another miss. Sally Botter works hard to get that rebound. She'll go to Cooper, and she loves a little play around just at the top of the circle.
And she shoots and scores. So Sally Botter's on the board. 3 goals now for the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, but the Bulldogs still leading here, 5 goals to 3.
Contact call against Tina Way for the Saints. Could make things particularly easy for the Bulldogs, but they'll take the longer route, and the defence from the Saints. Sophie Capillari, a beautiful intercept there. That's a 3D Lanes highlight of the day.
And her in that tussle with Ellie Ainsworth, that's one to look out for as the game continues, as we see another one. They're just going to run side by side all day, as are Sage Bross and Alicia Coyle. Great comeback to the ball then from Sage Bross. She got Alicia Coyle right out of the road, so she didn't have time to get back to the ball.
How about that physicality between Ellie Cooper and Hildebrand there, both just putting their bodies on the line for that ball.
And standing up nice and straight, and great to see that the umpires are letting it go. And Sally Botter nodding another one there for the Myrtleford Alpine Saints with their centre pass to follow. So Bros now with the ball in their attacking third. An obstruction call. So Tina Way, without any defensive pressure over her, gives off to Botter, who looks for shooting partner in Piazza. Botter's at the top of the circle with possession. Great play there by the 2 mid-quarters of the Saints into Piazza. She steadies for her 3rd goal of this first quarter. So we have scores even, 5 goals apiece here at Martin Park.
8 minutes to play in the Jacob Toyota used time clock. Cassie Matey doing the work with Ainsworth. She goes for the shot. There's a rebound, and Amber Quirk from the Saints comes up with it.
Matey's first miss of the game, she really had her eye in, but Quirk made it really hard for her over the shot then to judge the distance, I think. So the Saints have transitioned the ball really, really nicely in the hands of Bros, looking for Botter. She really uses the top of that circle nicely, finding the arc to find the space, and the ball opens up into Piazza. Her goal is good, so the Saints here with the centre pass. Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. These 2 wing attack, wing defence combos at each end are the difference at the minute.
Oh, they absolutely are, and the power at which they're both hitting the circle is impressive. I think we can start to see the Saints centre wing attack combinations start to get their timing and their transition a little bit better. That beautiful outlet pass from Tina Way was outstanding, and that allowed them to stay deep and then just hit the circle really hard. But it's very impressive so far.
And as we talk about the wing attacks, Ellie Ainsworth getting that centre pass for the Bulldogs beautifully. Hands over pressure by Capillari, and a pinpoint accurate pass over to Pole into shooting partner in Matey. So her 5th goal of this first quarter takes the Wodonga Bulldogs up to 6, trailing the Myrtleford Alpine Saints 7 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
Cooper goes into Botter, and that is that pass they love. Botter at the front, Piazza opens at the back, and she scores. So the Saints are well and truly back in this game. 8-6 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard with 6.5 minutes to play.
Hildebrand to Ainsworth for this centre pass, and she looks to drive closer to the circle, but the ball was placed just a little bit behind where she was running. They'll want to put that out in front a little bit more. Matey coming out of that circle, and Pole with the space, but again, the placement of the pass not quite right, but Tina Way taking the intercept, but a little bit unsteady. So a footwork call means that they've lost possession. So the Bulldogs looking to feed it in again, and over 2 sets of defensive hands. Pole, she's running short on 3 seconds, but she nets it for her 2nd goal of this first quarter. So 1 goal lead to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, 8, leading the Bulldogs, the home team, 7 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
Bros using Capillari just in the wing defence there, but good hands there from the Bulldogs, just putting that pressure on, putting a bit of doubt in the minds of the Saints.
And Cooper, that pass over hands, and great work by Sally Botter to open the space up for Piazza as she nets another goal. Mask how much space there is behind Piazza with Sally Botter's great work, and a defensive stat for her as well, causing the held ball on the Wodonga Bulldogs centre pass. Cooper with the ball here. She's off the circle edge, so she opts not to feed in. She looks across to Bros, into Botter. And she takes a nice mid-range shot. It comes off, but Myrtleford have gotten the rebound. So they go again. Again, Botter using that arc of the circle to her advantage, positioning Dickens right behind her. She's got the penalty shot now, and she puts it up, but it falls short, but into the hands of Piazza, whose her shot falls short as well. So the Bulldogs now with the opportunity to respond. Throw-ins in the hands of Dickens, close to the post. Coyle, she's been great so far in this first quarter. Hildebrand, happy to play it around to Dickens. Back to Mathy. Ainsworth, she's up high for a wing attack in that defensive position, but Quirk comes through with the steal for the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. So they gain possession right at the top of their defensive third. Capillari onto Bros, to Cooper, pretty much unmanned there on the edge of the circle, and throws through to Piazza.
And Ree, that pressure built from the defensive third as Piazza takes another shot for the Saints. It built, and it allowed Amber Quirk to be ready because Mathy was forced up because there were no other options.
Yep, and that will be something that the Saints will look to expose now that they've seen that occur. They'll want to keep that going again, but Piazza not comfortable shooting from probably further than that halfway point out of the circle. So she was looking for the refeed. Heavily defended were both attackers, but Saints have regained possession. Bros, great hands by Coyle. She's in everything this afternoon, and Bros with the throw-in. Opts to go over hands to Botter. She takes a breath. It is nearly good, but it falls short, and the Bulldogs now with the opportunity to transition. Coyle now to Dickens, to Mathy. Rallying the troops, telling them where to go, and Hildebrand, she's got no one on her. Mathy's out of the circle, deep in that pocket. Pole, great work by Tina Way there to keep her up high and keep her away from that post to make the feed so much harder. Oh, I like the swap there between the two defenders. They knew exactly where that roll from the shooters were going. So Pole.
The Bulldogs not looking as controlled as they could. The defensive pressure of the Saints is just putting the doubt in their mind as we see Mathy from the Bulldogs take another shot, and they'll have the centre pass here.
Got about 3 minutes left to play here in this first quarter action, being brought to you by Cavalier Homes. Cassie Mathy putting up a beautiful quick goal for the Bulldogs. They're keeping in touch. They're trailing by 1 here. 9 goals, plays 10 on the 777 automotive scoreboard.
The Saints just work it into their circle. Cooper going back to Botter. Again, just too far out for her. So Bros, it's been an obstruction call here. Dickens will have to stand just inside the circle. So Botter, she'll pass out. Saints having to do a lot of work to find the shooter.
And what I liked was that Sage Bros then, she really wanted that top position. She didn't try and go wide to the wing. Tam Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. We've got a 2-goal lead here to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. What do the Bulldogs need to do here in these closing minutes of this first quarter?
Well, I think we've seen a slight change in their defence, and those last few times that Myrtleford have taken it into their goal circle, they've found it a lot harder to find their shooters because of the way the defenders have changed their positioning. But I think it's being patient, obviously, when they're feeding. Obviously, the misses aren't great and they need to get in a position where they're rebounding those. But I think just taking a breath when they've got it in and around the goal circle, there's just probably been a couple of forced rush passes, and the Myrtleford girls have been able to jump onto those.
Speaking of rush passes, that was a absolute bullet pass from Tina Way to Ellie Cooper. She had confidence in the speed of Cooper to get there deep in the pocket.
Look, I would too.
yeah, she's definitely a person that I would like on my team. And the Bulldogs giving off a penalty here in the circle, about a step away from that goal, and Botter just steps out of the hands of the defender for another goal for her. So the Myrtleford Alpine Saints here leading the Wodonga Bulldogs 12 goals to 9 on the 777 automotive scoreboard.
Less than a minute to play. First quarter's been brought to you by Cavalier Homes, and here's an important win for the Bulldogs. A little fumble, so they'll get the chance to transition. Got 30 seconds left on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
And a contact call there from Capillari. She was doing all the work to try and keep Ainsworth from getting the drive, but Ainsworth comes out on top, and Mathy just presents. She just finds the space that isn't really looking like it's there on that baseline deep, and she nets another goal. She's certainly got her eye in. Only 2 misses in this first quarter. Ainsworth with the centre pass. Can the Bulldogs convert here just before quarter time? They've got the contact call off Tina Way here underneath the post. Pole putting up that shot and netting that one. So a little comeback here with the dying seconds of this first quarter. The Bulldogs 11 playing the Myrtleford Saints 12.
Just seconds left. The Saints, they won't have time. So the hooter sounds for the first quarter break. The Saints just leading 12-11 against the Wodonga Bulldogs. We'll be back after the break. This is O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
O&M, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
inspiring,
hands-on,
flexible, fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol?
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery!
I can actually drive!
Onwards, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of news, talk, sport and music.
We're community focused, passionate about our region and what makes it great.
We bring you the very latest news that matters, from breaking stories in your backyard to headlines and hot topics from around the country and around the world.
And on weekends, we live and breathe local sport and bring you exclusive live coverage.
1494 2AY, we're your local.
On 2AY.
Welcome back to O&M Live. If you have just joined us, I'm Ree Dolahenty, joined by Hannah Davies and Tamara Matthews in commentary. We are at Martin Park seeing the Wodonga Bulldogs take on the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. The Wodonga Bulldogs with the first centre pass here to start us off this second quarter. Trailing by 1, there's really nothing in it. They marked a little comeback towards the end of that first quarter to be within 1. And Hannah Pohl putting up the first goal of this second quarter. Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. Did you get any word on what both teams thought of that first quarter?
Yeah, so the focus of Myrtleford was really their defensive work down the court. They're conscious that the shooters are making life pretty hard for them, so have really asked for everyone right from Beck right through the court to apply the pressure early and to build that pressure so that they, I guess, can create the turnover. Wodonga talked about patience and just utilising the front player. If it takes extra passes, use those extra passes and be patient to work it in and not go over. There was a bit of discussion around being forced over, but wanting the girls to come forward and use that centre channel to create the play that way.
Well, that's a great start for the Bulldogs there. They're after patience, and the connection between Matey and the shooting circle just looking great so far. But Beck Piazza on the other end for the Saints, another goal for her. So 14-13, the visitors just leading by 1 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
And Hildebrand looking back for this centre pass to Matey. Happy to pass it around. She finds Ainsworth with Capillari. She had gone deep to double team the goal attack, but they find Matey on that baseline, and a long shot for her spills out, but Tina Way can't quite get the dribs of that missed shot. So Pole here with the throw in on the side of the post closest to us here in commentary. Contact call on the edge of the circle gives Ainsworth clear view into the circle, but a bullet pass goes astray. So Amber Quirk here, and goalkeeper for the Saints with the throw in. She'll be looking to make this an outlet ball that puts them into a really good transition, and straight down to Cooper, deep in that defensive third. Into Bros, she's deep in the mid third as well. Piazza into Cooper, and that ball goes into Botter, who nets her first goal for this second quarter. So we have a 2-goal lead to the visitors in the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, 15, leading the Bulldogs here, 13 on the Cavalier home scoreboard. And Bros to Botter. They refeed just to get Botter that step closer to the circle edge. Her goal sinks. So her 5th goal of this game. And the centre pass is in the hands of the Bulldogs. Ainsworth undefended. You can see that Capillari, she's going for that deep pocket ball. So she's coming off Ainsworth for that centre pass and dropping into the space for the drive of either Pole or Matey. But Matey, her first goal of this second quarter, and she was on song in that first goal, in that first quarter, 8 goals from 10 attempts. Hildebrand doing the work off the ball, gaining possession for the Bulldogs. To Pole, Hildebrand on the circle, little pass into Matey. I'm not sure if it was intended, but toe was in the circle, so an offside call. So the Saints with possession in the hands of Quirk to Way, looking for Cooper. She's doing the hard work in defence and finds Bros. Great drive from her. Botter, again, that back space that they're finding off that double dodge to get the defender out of the road.
And the pass is going long as well. The intention is to just get it into their circle as quick as possible, but an unfortunate miss for Botter. Look, you've got to be honest, the accuracy for the Saints is just lacking a little bit right now. And we always say if the accuracy isn't there, it doesn't matter as long as the rebounding is there. So perhaps that is the focus now, just on those rebounds.
And I think for them, some of their rebounds have spilt straight over the baseline in that place where you can't regain possession, which is unfortunate. So Matey here making the most of it for the Bulldogs, but the arms of Quirk getting in the road. She's got all the space, but Pole finds space on the arc of the circle and a held ball call. You can see every Bulldogs player having to make 3 or 4 moves in order to get away from their Saint opponents. So Cooper with the centre pass gives off to Piazza. Deep in the pocket is Bros, taking a really strong pass and re-driving to that top of the circle. So a great triangle using Way for the refeed, and the ball in the hand of Botter. Long shot for her. It spills out, and the possession goes in the way of the Bulldogs for their throw-in. So a little bit of tennis here, ball going back and forth either end.
Both teams just getting a little bit nervous in the shooting circle. You can see the Saints are focusing on that defensive pressure, and it's just pulling up the Bulldogs as they enter their attacking third. Matey comes out again. She goes to Ainsworth. And Pole, a beautiful front drive. Amber Quirk just can't get the hand on it, and that's the shot they need. Hannah Pole strikes, and that will just settle them. So the Bulldogs 15, just trailing by 1 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
And Ainsworth, her drive to the top of the circle, you really hear her hit the edge with force, and there she is again, but she hits and strong, and on that angle where she can open herself up to the court. Pole, she's on song to start this quarter, 4 from 4 for this second quarter. So the Bulldogs now come back to even 16 goals apiece here at Martin Park. Second quarter action, thanks to 777 Automotive.
And as the Saints just getting a little stuck in their attacking third, there's over 9 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. And Ellie Cooper's found Sally Botter, but it's too far for her, so she'll go back. Botter, there's been an offside call, so she takes a free pass. And here we go, the Bulldogs, a brilliant intercept there, just putting on all the pressure. That's a 3D Lanes highlight of the day.
Dickens moving her feet then to get around the ball rather than trying to hit the player as well. So she was away from the ball. She hedged the space to make it look like there was space there, and there wasn't. And the Bulldogs have transitioned nicely to a goal from Mathy.
So momentum shifting now with the Bulldogs once again. It's kind of ebbed and flowed in this game so far.
Ainsworth, she's in everything, and what I love about what she does is that she lands and looks straight into the circle to see if there's anything there. If there's not, then she looks sideways. Mathy with the first miss for her in this second quarter, and the Myrtleford Saints has taken 3 passes to get it down, but Dickens again off the ball. She gets that little tap and then just goes for that loose ball. Mathy over to Dickens. Bros has a look at it and has a go, but it's just over her fingertips. So in the hands of Ainsworth again, coaxing Mathy to come forward into the space, and Pole, she comes through the hands of 2 Saints to get possession, but it doesn't end up that way. So the Saints have transitioned nicely here. Piazza over to Bros, deep in the pocket, closest to us. The high ball into Piazza, a little bit too much on it. Cooper tries to grab the scraps there, but a contact call off the ball. So the Bulldogs in possession again now. Hildebrand, she's looking deep. Not quite the best pass, but it comes off. Ainsworth to Coyle.
This is where they've been getting unstuck. Transitioning brilliantly, and there it is. The ball just goes out. Tamara Matthews, you're on the sideline. What's happening when it gets into the attacking third for the Bulldogs?
Well, actually, both sides at the moment, they're panicking, and I think they just almost need to stop. They do some great passages of play. They get at the circle, and I think almost stop. And what that does is disrupts the defender's timing as well, and just take that extra pass before forcing it. I mean, Ellie was on the run there and obviously had some great momentum, and probably the pass was almost on. But yeah, just forcing it to pass too early.
And Botter does well then over a heavily defended shot from Dickens. It is good. So Bros looking for a shooter. Botter's come top, opts to refeed, and there's been a contact call in the circle against Leah Mathy. So Sally Botter with the penalty shot. It falls short. Piazza has a good look at the rebound, but a contact call. So Dickens in goalkeeper for the Bulldogs with possession. Another contact call. So the Bulldogs getting a little bit further up the court. They're looking. Coyle, she's been great all day. Hildebrand to Ainsworth. This centre wing attack connection is really starting to fly, and a pinpoint high ball into Mathy. She shoots and she scores her 11th goal of the Bulldogs, 18 today. They take the 1-goal lead here. 18 goals to the Bulldogs, leading the Saints 17 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
Another turnover for the Saints. Great opportunity for them to get another one on the scoreboard. There's less than 6 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, but my goodness, this is a game of tennis.
And just a few uncharacteristic errors, and I think out of nerves, even though we've got so much time left to play, they're just all playing for the win today, and Piazza making that all the more for Myrtleford, nodding a goal with their centre pass to follow. So Cooper on to Bros. She throws the dummy to try and get that defender out of the way, but Ella Dickens, she's been impressive in that goalkeeper position, making it really hard for the Saints shooters, and she's out of play right out of their circle. So it leaves Mathy with a 2-on-1 against the shooters for the Saints, and Botter another one for her. So the Saints taking the lead here, 19 to the Bulldogs 18, with about 5 minutes to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
Mathy goes to Mathy. Down the court, Hildebrand hits Cassie Mathy again, turns and shoots but misses. And somehow Hildebrand came up with this intercept, but a stepping call. So Amber Quirk for the Saints will take the ball and they transition.
Capillari there, she knew she'd kind of driven to the wrong spot, so she was trying to get out of the way, but she drew 3 defenders with her, which opened up a couple of players for the Saints. Piazza here, unbalanced, takes the unbalanced shot and nets it for the Saints. So quickly that 1 goal turns into 2 with the Saints with possession again. So 20 goals, plays 18 here. Bullet pass into Botter, and she nets another one. So Myrtleford Saints out by 3, 21 plays 18 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
Ainsworth has to go back to Leah Mathy. And Hildebrand, again, Cassie Mathy, often found out of the circle. Oh, and a beautiful baseline drive from Hannah Pole. The connection between those two shooters is brilliant. And there's the rebound from Mathy, and she scores from under the post. Just an incredible connection from those two youngsters, Ree.
Really, and I just love how they are happy to take that baseline drive. If anyone tuned into Australia versus Jamaica, we saw Cara Conan come on and do that. It's a little bit the same here today, and Piazza on the baseline.
They'll be thrilled with that comparison.
Yeah. Piazza on the baseline nets another one. So we still have 3 goals here, about 3.5 minutes to play. Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. What do you think these teams need to do heading into the second half of this game?
Well, I think that it feels like Myrtleford are scoring easier at the moment than Wodonga. You know, Wodonga are sticking with them, but they're having to work a lot harder, take a lot more ball before they can get the opportunity to score. And so they're working so hard in attack, and then when there's a turnover, they have to switch into defence, and you can see they're absolutely running themselves ragged. But I think, you know, obviously it's settling in the goal ring and starting to nail some of those goals, because neither side is rebounding. The shooters are rebounding particularly well.
Piazza with the opportunity to take this further out, and she does. Her 15th goal of the game, and she hasn't yet missed in this second quarter. So 23 plays 19 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard. Just under 3 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and Piazza looks up and she notches another one for the Saints. So the Bulldogs with the centre pass to come. If you've just joined us, you are on O&M Live. We are broadcasting the Wodonga Bulldogs at home at Martin Park, hosting the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. Ellie Ainsworth shoots the ball into Mathy. That's probably not the right wording there, and Mathy shoots the goal to finish that one off.
We're all about cross-coders, Ree. We bring in a bit of everything on this court.
And Bros, she's finding the backspace a lot easier. Alicia Coyle's doing a great job man on man, but Sage Bros is doing that extra dodge to find the space behind and giving the ball off to Piazza in the circle, and another goal for the Saints. Hole here for the Bulldogs, getting possession of the centre pass, and Tina Way, not really sure how she got possession of that ball, but there's no whistle call. So the Saints here with the ball. Cooper deep in the pocket away from where we are, onto Piazza. She's about halfway, and the goal is good. So the Saints here with the lead, 6 goals now, 26 plays 20 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
Piazza goes into partner Botter. Ball goes out though, so Sally Botter will take the throw in. She goes out to wing attack in Broads and straight into Piazza. That's a beautiful piece of netball, and Piazza finishes off the play with a shot. The visitors now 27 to the Bulldogs 20, so the scoreline really crept away in the last few minutes.
Quirk, she attacked the ball coming deep into the pocket to Ainsworth and hands over, but just a little bit too short, and Mathy makes the comeback here for the Dogs. That's 1 back they've got. Saints, though, in the hands of Bros and Cooper. What I love about both of them is when they hit that circle, they present, they tell their other players, their other attackers where they are and where they want the ball. And Piazza, she shows where she wants the ball, and her 20th goal out of these 28 here today. Hildebrand with the centre pass for the Bulldogs. Can they score here with only about 30 seconds remaining in this second quarter? Ainsworth.
Hildebrand potentially cramping there, looks a little uncomfortable, but she's a trooper. She'll get through it. Pickle juice at halftime.
The age-old remedy. Quirk here. Can the Saints get a quick goal leading us into halftime? Bros will see that it is so, giving the long ball to Piazza, but a little bit too long. Over the baseline it goes, and Dickens with the throw in here about halfway on the Bulldogs' defensive baseline to Mathy. they'll need to transition, and they'll need to transition quick and not quick enough. So the hooter has gone for half-time. The visitors in the Myrtleford Alpine Saints 28, leading the home team in the Wodonga Bulldogs 21. That is our first half. We will take a break, and after the break we will resume for our third quarter here. And if you are listening to O&M Live, and on O&M Live you won't miss a thing.
TAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onward, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of news, talk, sport and music.
We're community focused, passionate about our region and what makes it great.
We bring you the very latest news that matters, from breaking stories in your backyard to headlines and hot topics from around the country and around the world.
And on weekends, we live and breathe local sport and bring you exclusive live coverage.
1494 2AY, we're your local.
Live on 2AY.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the 10th placed Wodonga Bulldogs playing host to the 8th placed Myrtleford Alpine Saints. We have half-time here with the visitors in the Saints leading the Bulldogs 28 goals to 21. A comprehensive second quarter from the Saints sees this lead by them. Hannah Davies joining me in commentary, and Tamara Matthews, thanks to Insight Injury Clinic, is on the sideline. But Hannah and I were just chatting off air about the VNL finals that happened this week down in Melbourne, and it saw in the Championship division the City West Falcons defeating the Geelong Cougars by 2 goals, and Wodonga Bulldogs, ex-Wodonga Bulldogs, Jane Cook in goal shooter for the City West Falcons. Hannah, you got to have a look at this game.
Yeah, oh gosh, what a game it was. It was cracking. I think my favourite thing about the VNL is the crowds you get. Obviously, you know, Melbourne's a bigger area, and so the crowds they get at their grand finals in their stadiums. It's just incredible. It was a great game. Sophie Hanrahan, obviously Cora Roos, was potentially on the sideline. She didn't quite get on the bench for the game, but she is one of those players that could potentially be in that championship side at the Falcons in a few years. We know she's had a cracking season in Div 1 this year, so maybe in a year or two time that will be her as well, playing alongside Jane Cook.
It could be, as we see the Myrtleford Saints in the hands of Ellie Cooper with this first centre pass. She offloads to Bros. Their connection in that second quarter was really instrumental. Cooper, top of the circle feed into Botta. The sun is starting to really beam down in the space, opening up for Piazza. Didn't miss in that second quarter and has started the third quarter off just as strong. So we have a new centre for the Bulldogs, and I can see that Lizzie Murphy has come into goal attack. Tam Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. Changes for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so Hannah Thornberg's come into centre, and yes, as you mentioned, Lizzie Murphy's gone into goal attack and starts off beautifully, snagging a lovely goal from out there. So probably giving Lyndall the opportunity to rest. She was working overtime out there. Ellie Cooper is a workhorse, and to run with her, you have to be pretty fit. So some fresh legs into the centre to allow them to contest, and they've caused a turnover. So they are absolutely attacking this game with everything.
And we've mentioned that both teams have nothing to lose, and both teams just really making it hard for one another, particularly through this court. And Thornburg with the possession there in the centre of the court. A nice high ball into Matey, out of arm's reach of goal defence in Tina Way. So the Bulldogs with the first 2 goals of this third quarter, 29 plays 23 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard.
So the Bulldogs just working it around, lots of patience in their attacking third. Murphy goes up for a long shot. She misses, but Matey under the post gets the rebound and scores. So third quarter for Martins Travel Group Albury. Can the Bulldogs claw back some of that deficit?
They will do their best, and Bros and Cooper finding Piazza under that ring. Characteristic play for them, and another goal for Piazza. So the Bulldogs here in the hands of Thornburg for this centre pass to youngster in Murphy. She looks to Ainsworth, to Matey, out of the circle, finding Ainsworth on her own. Close to us here on the commentary team, but a contact call on Quirk as Murphy was coming into the circle, and a miss from her. Matey doing the hard work to try and position for that rebound, heavily defended by Way, who knocks it out of court. So the Bulldogs with possession here. Murphy opts to refeed to Thornburg, back into Matey. Goal is good. So her 17th goal of this game. The Myrtleford Saints, however, leading 34 to the Bulldogs 25 here. Third quarter action being brought to you by Martins Travel Group Albury.
Beautiful pass over Botta to Piazza under the post. Piazza scores again. She has been so accurate today, just really stepping up when it matters.
And not a miss in that second quarter, so she will like that. But the hard work of the attackers to bring that ball in has been instrumental, and the defenders. Quirk going over hands to get the touch on the ball, finding the scraps as well, and Capillari really coming into the fore here in this third quarter, finding some space as she transitions that ball. Ball going into Piazza, another one for the Saints, and they have the centre pass to come. So Cooper to Botta, finding Bros, front position in front of 2 defenders. Cooper and Matey, that is a 3D Lanes highlight of the day, coming off the ball, and Capillari tries to replicate it down the other end. Ainsworth there, though, the speed in which she can hit that ring, find a player and give the ball off. Murphy with a nice goal.
And here's the danger now for the Saints. Bulldogs have 2 long-range shooters on. Matey will turn and shoot, and so will Liz Murphy.
Great stat for her there, just coming up strong. She was defended by 2 Saints defenders, and a pass stat there, we'll call it, to Matey, who finishes with a goal.
So Ellie Cooper goes to Botta, and there's the re-offer.
And she cut in front. She found the space in front of the player standing still to get her nice and close into the pocket of that circle. So Botta here, about halfway. Ball bounces from the back of the ring out, and the Bulldogs now on the attack. Thornburg off to Matey. to Murphy. She's close to that transverse line to the Bulldogs, shooting third. Ainsworth on the edge of the ring finds Mathy, puts the ball up over defenders' hands. Mathy turns, shoots and scores. So the Bulldogs trailing by 4, 28 to the Myrtleford Saints 32. Third quarter action here, thanks to Martin's Travel Group Albury.
About 10.5 minutes to play in the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. The Bulldogs, Thornburg goes into Mathy. And she'll go for this one. A miss, but the rebounds have been excellent from her so far. And there she goes, lines up another shot, and this time it goes through.
And here Myrtleford with the centre. Botter just coming off the line. Mathy choosing to stay back and taking up a bit of space. And space they do. The Bulldogs forcing the turnover with a held ball. So Thornburg doing the work in centre to make sure that no one could get that drive through. Ainsworth now, top of the circle. Looks for the ball, but Tina Way finding the space there of Mathy with her eyes down. So Capillari transitioning the ball through to Bros. A little bit of a fumble, and it goes over the far sideline, just in front of the Bulldogs bench. Mathy doing all the work to try and keep it in, but Bros from the Saints in possession. Long ball.
Oh, big clash there.
Big clash. Dickens just had all eyes for the ball, as did Piazza. So both of them end up on the ground, but possession the way of the Saints, and Piazza scoring there. So the Saints here leading 33, the Bulldogs 29. Bulldogs with the centre pass. Ainsworth doing the work behind Capillari to find front position. Thornburg, top of the circle, gives off to Mathy, who tussles with Way for the ball and nets another great long shot. She just turns and shoots.
Just incredible. Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. Sorry, he looks a little busy on the sideline there. How's the physicality in this game so far? Just a massive hit there. And then down the other end, another little tussle.
Yeah, well, I think there was some confusion. I think Wodonga thought it was their ball, and so Ella went to take it and then had to race back to get it. And yes, obviously that was a physical contest. But look, both sides, like I said, throwing everything at it. I think we're seeing a bit of a change of pace in the Wodonga end, and that's working to their advantage. But Lizzie Murphy, she won't take a backward step. She will take the body hit. She's a strong basketballer and is used to that body-on-body stuff. So it's great to see that they're going in hard.
And as we talk about Lizzie Murphy, she takes that centre pass for the Bulldogs in goal attack. Mathy to Thornburg, playing it around a little bit. Oh, and Murphy had the space, but the ball went cross-court. Tina Way, she's incredible offline for that ball and coming through with the goods for Myrtleford. No, it is Bulldogs with the throw-in. Murphy, though, she needed to use her voice then because she was all alone in the circle. And here she is with possession. About 3/4 of the way, she has a go at the shot and it comes out. Myrtleford with the rebound. Capillari, great transition play from her to find Cooper, top of the circle. Refeed from Botter to Cooper, and she gets Mathy out of range there to defend. So
both goes to Cooper, top of the circle.
And both Saints shooters then just got stuck really high, and neither of them were in front. So credit to the attackers in Cooper and Bros. They didn't try and feed it in. And Dickens, they're getting her hands over Piazza. Didn't quite move her feet far enough that time and causing the contact. So Botter with the penalty pass or shot here. Edges out, but Mathy does a great job of defending Piazza to not get possession of that ball. So Dickens with the ball in the circle, gives off to Coyle. Oh, Cooper finding that front position, but gives it back
so close
to Coyle. Nearly a 3D lanes highlight of the day. Capillari doing all she can to try and get this ball back. Mathy transitions to Thornburg. They're into their attacking third, but Cooper coming up with the scraps again. Bros really tight on the sideline. They get back into that centre channel. Cooper deep in the pocket, and Piazza moving away from Dickens, asks for the ball over, and it is pinpoint, but the shot isn't so. So the Bulldogs on the reply here. Can they transition and get this ball down? They can't. It's just a little game of tit for tat at the minute. So can the Saints here now? Bros to Piazza, top of the circle, opts to refeed. Defence from Mathy over the shot. Piazza will get another look at it. as it spills out. Dickens out of play and Mathy as well, and Piazza with the shot there. So Myrtleford still 5 goals here, 35 plays 30 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard.
And Reid, neither team here today playing finals, but you could not tell this win, you know, for the Bulldogs, second win of the season, and the Saints just sets up season 2023 that little bit better.
And I think for the Saints particularly, they'll be disappointed with their consistency over the year. I think we kind of probably, as Bodder nutches another one, we probably thought that they'd be playing finals this year, and it won't be so. So I think they'll be looking certainly to 2023 and just putting out those 4 consistent quarters as Tina Way goes flying again. But Ainsworth, she won't let that happen. And Murphy, beautiful shot from the youngster. As well, the Bulldogs, they're just going to look to continue building. This year was definitely a building year for them, and we've seen them really test some of those top teams for a quarter here or there. We've got about 5 minutes to play here in this third quarter at Martin Park. The Bulldogs just waiting as the ball is being retrieved. The visitors in the Myrtleford Alpine Saints with the 5-goal lead. You can see them taking up the space here in this centre third, and it works for them as they get the ball, they get possession back, and they cause the turnover from the Bulldogs. And the ball, 2 passes into Piazza. Mathy out of play. Dickens with the 3 feet, but it doesn't worry Rebecca Piazza, shooting another goal there for the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinics. A few minutes here of this third quarter. Do you expect to see any changes going into the fourth quarter for either team?
Look, I don't think Myrtleford will. I think they've been fairly consistent with their side. So I think they will leave it. Just whether Wodonga make a change through to any of their mid-court, I'd like to see probably a change in wing defence. I just think Sage Broads continues to be the link for Myrtleford, and you see the passages of play where she's not involved, Wodonga are able to cause a turnover, or it certainly is more difficult for Myrtleford to score off that. So I think they really need to work hard to eliminate her. She seems to be the link.
And what I like about Sage Bros is that she drives really, really hard with her defender. Then she stops and pops back in the other direction, or she does that double dodge to really find that front space before she calls for the ball. So the Bulldogs, though, they've turned the ball over. Ainsworth to Murphy. Looks for Thornburg at the top of the circle. Opts to not pass because she has 2 defenders on her. Capillari giving away the defensive contact here in wing defence. So Mathy on the baseline. She shoots another one for the Bulldogs. Her shooting has been impeccable today. 23 from 33 attempts. From 26 attempts. She's only had the 3 misses, which is pretty impressive. Ainsworth here to Mathy again. Murphy, I don't know if we'll call that a stat or not. I think it went straight through her fingers. She shoots and she scores. So a couple of quick goals for the Bulldogs puts them back within 3. 37 plays 34 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard.
And we're discussing changes in the Bulldogs bench. You can see the bench just warming up in the corner there of the play. Do they put Hannah Pohl back on in goal attack? Liz Murphy's transitioned great in, but that connection between Hannah and Cassie is just electric.
Will be interesting as we see Amber Quirk. She went fishing and she should have just gone for it. I think she was worried she was going to take the player out instead. So the ball from Ainsworth to Mathy is good, and Mathy converts. So the Bulldogs still within 3. 35 plays 38 Piazza to Bros. We've mentioned Bros's impact today, and Dickens giving away the obstruction, a little bit unnecessary, and we see contact call from Mathy right under the post. So Piazza, she'll put this one up for her 30th goal of the game. The Saints with the lead here, 39 plays 35 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard. About 2 minutes left to play here in this third quarter. Tina Way offline gets the touch, and it's last off Mathy spilling over the baseline. So the Myrtleford Saints with the ball. Ainsworth, the tussle between her and Capillari all day has been exceptional, and that was nearly a 3D Lanes highlight of the day. But the footwork at the end, just taking that extra step onto that loose ball. Sees Quirk deep in the far pocket with the ball to Capillari again. That contest from Ainsworth and Capillari's been brilliant. She opts to go to Cooper right in that centre channel to Bodder. She looks deep to Piazza. Broz is on her own on the circle edge, and Cooper. Heavy defence from Thornburg. It doesn't matter who they put on in there. They're just making Ellie Cooper work hard for every ball.
Dickens just looking like she's holding herself back there. I think in that first quarter we saw her go flying and have a crack as Sally Botter for the Saints scores another one. But this quarter, Piazza just seems to have the edge on her. She looks like she's been just mentally edged out of the game a little bit.
And that's the experience of Piazza too. She knows how to do that and work a player down as she notches another goal for the Saints. About a minute left here on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. The Bulldogs, can they edge closer to this lead in these dying moments of this third quarter? Thornburg to Murphy at the top of the circle, the youngster with the shot about 3 quarters out, and it is good. So 5 goals to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, 41 plays 36 here on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard.
Dickens takes a big hit as the Hooter signs for 3/4 times. She gets the hug from Mathy. 15 minutes to go from them. The Bulldogs just trailing 36-41. The Saints just keeping that lead. We'll be back after the break. This is O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Owen Dairy, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onward, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of news, talk, sport and music.
We're community focused, passionate about our region and what makes it great.
We bring you the very latest news that matters, from breaking stories in your backyard to headlines and hot topics from around the country and around the world.
And on weekends, we live and breathe local sport and bring you exclusive live coverage.
1494 2AY. We're your local.
On 2AY.
Welcome back to O&M Live. If you have just joined us, we're at Martin Park seeing the 10th placed Wodonga Bulldogs playing host to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. We are about to commence the fourth quarter, and the possession for this centre pass will go in the way of Ellie Ainsworth. She's swung from wing attack to centre. The Bulldogs trailing only by 5 goals. Can they mark the comeback and make it 2 on the trot, or will the Saints prevail? We'll know in 15 minutes' time. The Bulldogs working the ball nicely into Matey. She has been on song today, and she starts with her first goal for this fourth quarter. Cooper now with the centre onto Bros. Again, another name that we have mentioned a lot today. She's really found the space at the top of the circle and been instrumental in their attack. And she goes to Botter, opts for the refeed, rolls out 2-on-1 to Piazza, but clever play there just to tap the ball to the possession of Botter, who was undefended. She goes for the long range shot, not quite converting. So the Bulldogs now, can they transition this ball? Tamara Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. No changes for the Saints, but we can see a couple of positional changes for the Wodonga Bulldogs.
Yeah, so Wodonga have brought Ellie Ainsworth back into centre, and Lyndall Hildebrand's gone to wing attack. So both those players had a great first half and had a rest that last quarter. So they can bring some fresh legs this quarter and hopefully get Wodonga back into the game and make a really good game of it the last quarter.
And Capillari is going to make it hard for Hildebrand to get back into that game. She's doing the hard work off the ball. She's really tenacious in that wing defence, doesn't give an inch. And Tina Way transition the ball to Cooper. A quick double play from them sees Bros finding the space in front of Coyle. That tussle all day has been good, but Bros has probably got the upper hand slightly. Ball from Botter, deep cross court into the pocket to Bros, back to Botter, and Matey out of play for a contact call. So Botter here with the penalty shot, and it is good. So first one on the board for the Saints of this fourth quarter. 42 plays 37 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
Little tussle there between both sides, and the Saints come away with the ball contact against Murphy. And the fourth quarter action brought to you by Insight Injury Clinic today.
Capillari putting a nice little buffer on the ball there, getting her attacker out of the way so she had clear vision. Botter out to Cooper, opts for the refeed and in again. Dickens, great hands over from her, but it won't faze Botter. Another goal for her here in the Saints with the centre pass to come.
Bros goes to Bros. A footwork call though, so Leah Matey takes that one for the Bulldogs. And they'll transition down.
Murphy, nice and strong. She really finds the body and is happy to take a few of those knocks. And Matey shooting beautifully in that goal shooter bib. You wouldn't know that she's one of the youngsters of this team. She's got an immense amount of patience and calm in that goal shooter bib as she comes out, retrieves the ball from Ainsworth, and
there's the
Lizzie Murphy. That is a great take, heavily defended. Can't quite get the goal in way. A great rebound, 2 hands from her. So Saints on the transition here, and Bros finding the front space to deliver a ball on the run in front of Piazza. I think that's certainly a contender for a 3D Lanes highlight of the day. And Piazza, she's been on song under that ring today. Only 4 misses to date here in this game.
And Leah Matey just gets a hand in front of Piazza, and the Bulldogs transition quickly. Ainsworth into Matey. She'll shoot and score. Beautiful long-range shot. I can almost predict it now, Ree.
Oh, they look really, really smooth off her hands as well, and just takes that breath, puts the ball up, and we've got a pushing call here, contact in the Wodonga Bulldogs attacking end. So Hildebrand in wing attack now for the Bulldogs. Looking down, finds Murphy deep in the pocket. Shooter to shooter pass there, undefended. Matey puts up a goal. So the Bulldogs here on to 40, trailing the Myrtleford Alpine Saints 44 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. We've played nearly 4 minutes of play. Bros to Cooper, that connection between those two. I think season 2023 has big things for those two.
Big tussle there between Ellie Cooper and Ainsworth. Just two strong players, full force at the ball. Cooper's called out a play for contact though, so a big win for the Bulldogs here. They're only trailing by 4, 40-44 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard, and there's still 10.5 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
Great option from Coyle to go for the centering pass to Ainsworth, not to go cross-court across hands, and Mathy coming in off-court, flirting with that baseline. She's disappointed with herself because she couldn't quite get back on court to regain possession. So Way looking to transition this ball. Cooper finding the backspace. The crowd here thinking that it was possibly a held ball, but the Bulldogs doing all they can. I think Dickens has just maybe jarred a little bit of a finger there on the edge of the ball going for that ball, and she's out of play. Botter using the arc of the circle to come forward. Mathy, great hands over pressure, but deemed to be too close. So Botter with the penalty shot, it is good. So the Myrtleford Saints now out to 45, plays 40 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
9.5 minutes left to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. And Ainsworth for the Bulldogs hits the baseline with Mathy. She'll turn and shoot like always, and there she goes again. So puts the Bulldogs 41 to the Saints 45 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
And plenty of time here for the Bulldogs. If they could just get a couple of quick goals, we could see this lead diminish. But the Saints, they're happy to play around. They've got this little lead, so they can afford to do that. They go cross-court to Bros. She goes over the hands of Dickens. Good contest from her to stay in play, but Piazza ever so steady under that ring, and another goal for her in this fourth quarter. Ellie Ainsworth for the Bulldogs with the centre pass opts to go back to Mathy. Hildebrand in wing attack now to Coyle. Mathy looking down, directing play, but the hands of Quirk just getting the touch on that ball, hands over pressure, and Botter signalling to her players to come forward, but just to slow down. We can take a second. So Cooper looks over, doesn't give the ball, back to Bros at the top of the circle.
Ree, that's got to be a netballer's like sign language. That little hand signal goes down, and you know it means settle, girls, settle.
That one, and the one that's the one where they're waving at you, come forward, which you often see as it get a little bit closer. So Piazza here coming out of the circle, goes cross court to Cooper. She sees Piazza at the top of the circle in a quick double play. Bros, she loves that space right on the top of the circle. And the triangle going cross court to Cooper into Botter now with the shot, and it is good. So the Saints increasing their lead here. It is now out to 7. 48 plays 41 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. Tam Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. We've played out about half of this fourth quarter. What can you see?
I think Wodonga started the quarter really well, didn't they? And they've, you know, Myrtleford have just clawed a couple back. I just like the balance Lizzie Murphy brings and the change of pace. And I think when they balance up and they use a fake and they wait for the front option, they're so much better. But you can see Myrtleford are scoring very quickly as well. So Wodonga get in touch, and then Myrtleford get a couple of quick ones, and it's sort of blown out again. So Beck Piaz is having a great game down there, and they continue to look for her, and she's certainly been one of their best today.
And a couple of unlucky balls for the Bulldogs then. That one just kind of went over everyone's set of hands, but they couldn't quite gain possession. But Ainsworth does her best then to not replay the ball, gaining possession and giving off to Mathy. And why not? 30 goals out of the 43 that they've shot today. She's on fire, and I just love that she turns and shoots. And the Saints here on the attack. Bulldogs do their best to try and change possession. Way with the throw in here, halfway down the court. Botter, beautiful front position coming through into that centre channel. Ball going over two defenders' hands to Piazza. Strong take from her, and the goal to finish. So the Alpine Saints here notch up their 50th goal, leading the Wodonga Bulldogs 43, and we have time called. Positional change here. Murphy has gone to the bench with Hannah Pole coming back on in goal attack for the Bulldogs. So
really interesting last minute change, Ree.
What impact can Hannah Pole have here, whether or not Murphy's injured? But I can see Coach Bianca Mann talking to Murphy about the positioning and where she's driving out as we look at the sidelines. So whether or not she's injected back in, we will see. And Mathy, another one for the Bulldogs. So they are back within 6. 50 plays 44 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
Gotta love this crowd we've got here today, Ree, as Cassie Mathy took a big hit from Tina Way. The entire crowd just big sigh.
And that's when I think, even though this isn't a top-of-the-table clash, the clubs, their cultures, their followers, they all want the best for their teams, which is great to see, particularly as we head towards the end of the season. And Sally Botter, another goal there for the Saints. So they increase their lead to 7. 51 plays 44 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. Our fourth quarter action is being brought to you by the Insight Injury Clinic. And Matey, top of the circle, gives to Pol. I don't think she was expecting that ball, but she gives it off unbalanced. Way doing her best there to try and use the outside arm, but the body causing the contact. And another beautiful goal from Matey. So she's keeping the Bulldogs in touch. Bros, though, she's really put the space between her and Coyle now, coming off the body and finding that back space from that additional dodge. Botter passes to Piazza, and another goal for the Saints.
Under 5 minutes to play now on the Jacobs Water used cars time clock, and the Bulldogs still searching for something, but Sally Botter from the Saints just comes out of nowhere. That intercept could be the deciding factor. They're 7 ahead. If they make it 8, 4.5 to play, this could be it for the Saints.
And Capillari, she's been really great for that refeed from the Saints back to that transverse line, and Botter there using the arc to open up the space to Piazza with front position in front of Matey. Another goal from her, not yet a miss here in this fourth quarter, and the Saints with the possession of the centre pass. So Botter back to Capillari, to Bros. Cooper doing the hard work, and Bros just seeing Piazza alone with the back space, and she shoots another goal. So this Myrtleford Saints 54 leading the Bulldogs 45 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. Not long to go, a couple of minutes. Polling goal attack for Bulldogs. A quick drive there, gains possession, but the shot falls short. So Quirk to Capillari. Transitional play from the Saints is good. Ball going over defenders' hands of the Bulldogs, and Piazza there, I don't know how she managed to find the space on the baseline, but she did. Bros, uncharacteristic spill of the ball from her.
So Ella Dickens here from the Bulldogs takes the throw in. Go to Matey. And straight down to Hannah Pole and into Cassie Matthews. But there's Amber Quirk. That looked all too easy there for the Saints goalkeeper. Just swipes up that ball.
And the Saints trying to do the area defence through the mid-court. The Bulldogs girls, they managed to break it really easy, but then they couldn't find that connection, which is the benefit of the area defence, and it enabled Amber Quirk to come offline to take that beautiful two-handed intercept. Definitely a 3D Lanes highlight of the day, and possibly an Urban Greys contender for Player of the Day, which I think Myrtleford will have a few of those. Tams Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. The last couple of minutes, what do the Bulldogs need to do to notch back a couple here?
Well, I think they need to maintain that defensive pressure on Beck Piazza. You know, Sally Botter's really come into it, but I think, you know, the quick ones over to Becca seem to be the ones where they're scoring quickly. So going back to that 2-on-1 to her and just forcing Sally Botter to take those longer shots, which she's not as comfortable with, applies a bit more pressure.
And Leah Matthew there trying really hard, but just needs to bring her foot one more step around Piazza with the possession, and falling a little bit off balance, but it doesn't deter her from the goal. So the Saints 56 leading the Wodonga Bulldogs 45 here. Less than 2 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
Ainsworth goes into Matey. She'll turn, shoot, and a miss here. And Amber Quirk gets the rebound for the Saints.
Matthew, not too many misses, so in the dying minutes of this game, she won't be happy with that. But Way, with the throw-in halfway down the court, gives off to Bros, another contender for the Urban Greys Player of the Day, to Cooper, into Piazza. Lovely triangle from the Myrtleford Saints with that possession. So the Saints now out to 12-goal lead, 57 plays 45 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
And with just over a minute left on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, it seems the Saints have really come alive in this fourth quarter for Insight Injury Clinic. But here's a little glimmer of hope for the Bulldogs. A late turnover. They're just holding on to possession, but with only a minute left, they need to move fast.
Hildebrand, great drive from her, cutting through the centre of that circle, and Way can see the intent on her eye. Ball going into pole. Goal spills out. Quirk, she's been great on that rebound. Destruction call. Capillari double plays with Quirk. She transitions beautifully to Botter, into Piazza, all the front space, and Bros into Botter again. So they're just finding the connection as this game draws to a close, and the Bulldogs can't quite gain possession of that rebound. So the Saints, seconds ticking by. Piazza shoots and scores. So lots of goals scored by Piazza today. 42 from, I think she's only had 4 misses from the game, so 42 from 46. That is an incredible workload as Pole down the other end for the Bulldogs finds the ball under the post, and her goal is good. So 58 plays 45 here as we hear the siren for full time. If you have just joined us, the Myrtleford Alpine Saints have taken the win here. 58 playing the Wodonga Bulldogs 46. 15 round 16 action, and the Myrtleford Alpine Saints, they really just ground that ball and ran away with it in the second half.
Look, they stuck with their starting 7 and they just gave each other the space to build. You know, I think in previous games we've seen them panic a little bit, but you know, as the season's gone on, they've gotten better and better at those tight games and just sticking to their own game plan and trusting, you know, the 7. And someone that's made probably the most growth for me is probably an Ellie Cooper. We saw she's always been a brilliant player, but the way she's, you know, learnt to gel with the team, steady the ship, and still come out with incredible intercepts. But here is our Urban Greys, player of the day, Sage Bros. It's great to have you on the broadcast. What an excellent win.
Yeah, it was actually. The girls, the Wodonga girls definitely took it up to us though. They've improved out of sight since we played them last, so credit to them. Our girls just, pulled it together, and we've been working on a few things over the last few weeks, so it's good to finish off the season with a win like that.
And particularly in that second half, we saw you guys go from strength to strength. Particularly, there were moments probably in that second quarter where it seemed like there was a little bit of panic with the ball from both teams getting into that shooting end, but that second half was really, really clinical from you guys.
Yeah, we got a few messages from Tina at half-time, so they obviously worked. So, Tina's a great coach and always just giving us little tips, so putting them to play when we can.
And Sage, for you personally, obviously had Barb at the start of the year. It must be nice to be back. You obviously missed the early games, but you've come back in and really playing some great netball. How are you managing it all?
Yeah, it's great to have the outlet. It's busy during the week. My partner's playing senior footy as well, but I'm loving it. It's great to bring Oakley along, real family day, and it's good to get back out there. I don't feel like I am where I was last year. But yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, well, I certainly wouldn't agree with that. But Sage Bros, our Urban Greys player of the day, congratulations, and congratulations to the Myrtleford Alpine Saints on a great win today.
Thank you. Thanks, girls.
Well done, Sage.
Thank you.
So this draws out round 16. Wodonga Bulldogs couldn't quite notch their consecutive win. Tam Matthews, what did you think of the Saints today?
Look, I think Myrtleford were more consistent today overall. Obviously, we saw that sort of second quarter was a bit patchy, but I think they played out the 4 quarters a lot better. They knew Wodonga were going to take it to them, and they absolutely did. But I think the fact that they were able to stay in it and maintain consistency, particularly with their shooting and the work in their attack end, I think that really got them over the line. Wodonga threw a few things at them. They tried to change up their defensive and go 2-on-1. But, you know, Tina gave them the message, gave Sally a message, I think it was at half-time or three-quarter time, to really bring herself into the game. They knew that they were going to be leaving her open, and she really asked her to, I guess, make a stronger play for the ball, to really expose that 2-on-1 and get her closer to the post. So I think she started to do that. We saw her get some good balls there in the last quarter in particular. I think just their ability to run out the 4 quarters was probably what they'd be most happy with.
Yeah, I saw a lot of grit from the Saints today. I think, you know, more than the start of the season, you could just tell how much they wanted to win. You know, they're not in contention for finals, but that doesn't really matter for them. It's about every game right now. And, you know, they've got the starting 7. And like I said before, they're just happy to grind it out and just have trust in each other.
Yeah, and I think you have to question, you know, where would they be had they had that consistent 7 right from the start? You know, we know that they've had some changes throughout the season. Sage has come back in, and they haven't always had this 7 right through the season. So had that been their 7 from the start and they'd had a full season, you know, they could very well be be in that top 5. So I think, they've got a lot to look forward to going into next season if they can keep this group together.
And someone that wasn't in there to start with is Amber Quirk, and we saw her dominance, particularly in that second half. She started to come offline and take a few of those balls. We saw them try and experiment with that area defence as well and really try and change up a few things, which when you've got a little bit of a scoreboard buffer, you can do that. This time next week, we will be back here. We will be seeing Wodonga take on first place Coral Rutherglen Roos. That could be really interesting for the Bulldogs.
Oh, look, absolutely. I mean, and they've got nothing to lose. They can absolutely throw everything at them. Coral are the team that are under much more pressure at the moment. So, I think that gives Wodonga so much freedom to come out and play. And they are contesting balls and they have some beautiful passages of play. The shooting of Cassie Mathy, the shooting combination with Hannah Poll, but then they bring a Lizzie Murphy in and lose nothing. So, they've got some really strong players there, and I think they just need to keep believing in themselves and their performances.
Well, a big thank you to Hannah Davies, your last broadcast today. We wish you all the best up in Queensland. We thank you for being on board with O&M Live. It will be really sad to see you go.
Oh, thanks, ladies. It's definitely a bittersweet moment right now, just soaking in those last few seconds of all this. But it's going to be a cracking final season is all I can say. I'll be right on that live stream watching every moment.
Yeah, look, and I guess on behalf of the Ovens and Murray, it's been such a new and different thing that we've done this year, and to have you on board and driving it has been so great, and we absolutely thank you for getting us to this point, and hopefully we can finish off the season and have a really great finals.
You absolutely will. I can't wait to watch it all.
Excellent. Well, I'm Ree Delahunty. Thanks to Hannah Davies and Tamara Matthews in commentary. This has been the round 16 clash between the Wodonga Bulldogs and the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. The Saints taking the win. Be sure to continue tuning into 1494 2AY, where the boys will be broadcasting the football between the Wodonga Bulldogs and the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. This has been O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
And we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
inspiring,
hands-on,
flexible, fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onward, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of news, talk, sport and music.
We're community focused, passionate about our region and what makes it great.
We bring you the very latest news that matters, from breaking stories in your backyard to headlines and hot topics from around the country and around the world.
And on weekends, we live and breathe local sport and bring you exclusive live coverage.
1494 2AY. We're your local.